Welcome to Coach's Take. My name is Evan Triggs. Coach's Take is a podcast that's going to highlight coaches, business leaders, entrepreneurs, operators that are out here mentoring, working with professionals, working in our passion. I've got Lloyd Brown here today. How you doing, Lloyd?
Doing very good. How about yourself?
Very, very well. Very, very well. So this show is going to highlight a lot of specifics, okay? One is we go way, way back. And I feel like I do this every show. Everybody, I'm going way, way back. But we go way back, right? Yeah. Same college. You know, I've actually seen you from college through your professional career. So we've stayed attached at that level. But let's talk about this. Lloyd, give a quick intro, what you do, who you are very quickly here.
Very good. My name is Lloyd Brown. I first off run Westside Football Academy, which is a organization that trains athletes ages 11 up to age 20-ish or so, but all the different position specifics, teaching fundamental footwork and technique. Off season, most of the time, we work during the season, a little bit on the weekends. Mm-hmm. The corporate job is working as Lloyd Brown Training and Development and working to start this business and really focus on professional development of individuals all over the place. So if somebody needs any sort of training services, fractional training services for high potential employees, leadership, managers, come see me. We'll get you right.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. So it's not a surprise that former athletes get into coaching, right? It just is what it. You've been around great coaches. We had dialogue kind of off camera about how many coaches, and you were listing them off, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But an athlete, a football player, okay, I want to talk about your college career, and I'm going to touch on one point. You talked about you as an Ironman in a game. We're going to get to that. But you played football, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about the early Lloyd and like the rise of your football career.
Very good. You know, I started in Palatine, Illinois, and that's a suburb of Chicago, 8A program. I was a running back, and eventually Ball State had the chance to recruit me, bring me down this way, and I played outside linebacker, moved over to middle linebacker, and eventually played some fullback too. Yeah. But at that point, it was a nice transition to see that, first off, somebody thought that you were capable of going to the next level, and then once I had a chance to get my first game, my first tackle, I don't know if you knew this, was Mike Allstott.
Oh, wow.
So it was a awakening to Division I football. Absolutely. I'd say, I hit him, and the next he went down about 5 yards later. I got credit for the tackle, but either way, I did my thing. I did my job.
Well, he went down at 5 yards. Like he could score at any point in time. He went down. That's the key component.
Yes, sir.
And but we used to play Purdue. I didn't get a chance to play at Purdue. We played at Wisconsin, IU. That was one of those games where we would always get a Big Ten opponent, but we didn't always get a chance to tackle Mike Allstott, of course. That's awesome. That's awesome. So this Ironman, okay, this is interesting. We were talking about coaches.
Yeah.
You played multiple positions on defense, same game, and then you flipped over and played offense as well.
Correct.
You don't see that in college football.
Except unless you're just my man out in Colorado.
Oh, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, yeah. Unless you're Travis Hunter, no, you don't see it a lot.
You don't see that at all.
But there was so much parity between playing linebacker back in the day and playing fullback. It was obviously I was a good body fit, but at the end of the day, we needed outside backer for whatever reason. We needed middle linebacker for me to play for some reason, defensive end, and then also play fullback. So just want to step in, do whatever the team needed. And luckily, I think we came out with a win against Northern Illinois that day.
Yeah. So, and college. Yeah. All right. Give me like, because did you play on any championship teams at Ball State?
Yes.
Give me that championship season, because people don't know. You come around Ball State, you might not hear about it, but we've had some great seasons, some championship seasons. Yeah. So you got to highlight for the fans out there that's chirping right now.
Okay, cool. So first off, in 1992, before I got to Ball State, I was watching them as a recruit go ahead and play in the Vegas Bowl, and it was one of those things that energized me to go to Ball State and play at that point. Yep. So about 4 years after that, we went back to the Vegas Bowl, 96, and had a chance to play against Nevada, but won the conference both of those years. So it was a cycle of about every 4 years, we expected some kind of a championship and to take that to the next level.
So I got recruited on the same way, right? So in 1996, we all are lined up, all the recruits lined up in 1996 when you were headed to the Vegas Bowl. That was the season. Brad Maynard was the best player on the field. All right, he was the recruit visit, like,
Yeah.
got to watch him warm up. He could kick the ball from end zone to end zone. We're like, nah, it's like, yeah, he kick it, roll, end zone to end zone. I'm like, this dude got a leg. So clearly y'all had party because we went to a homecoming game. Clearly y'all had party because y'all had all these recruits at the game and y'all didn't do nothing except watch Brad punt all game. And you remember this game. And then they kicked the ball off to Dre Moore.
Ooh, yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
House call.
Oh, man.
That was the most exciting. Now, we was on the sideline, so that was the most exciting play I had ever seen on a college level. He go about 90-something yards.
Yes, sir.
House call.
Yes, sir.
What was your hungover? What was going on, man? You can talk to me now.
We may have partied a little bit, but at the end of the day, we got the job done. And I remember that kickoff return like it was yesterday. Dre was a fantastic running back, stocky, thick, quick, fast, all the things. And matter of fact, I think I got a picture of that somewhere in my basement framed. But he was outstanding.
So you see how recruiting works, right? The kids that come on a championship season, they end up committing and being part of the program. So that's you were part of the same formula that I had just 4 years. Yeah, that's a good story. Very good story. So just transitioning to, Lloyd in business. All right. You spent your years, ever since I've known you, you've been in corporate development, corporate training. So you spent a ton of time pouring back into that. How did that come about early in your career, just knowing that training and development was going to be part of your road?
When I started out as a sales rep, had a chance to move up into sales management. And when we got new sales reps in, it was always onboarding them, but taking them one at a time through everything they needed to do the job. And so whenever you had a chance to make some of those connections, personally and professionally, it worked out well when it came to performance and a relationship between you and them. And whenever you needed them to do something extra, they'd be like, hey, I got you. I can go ahead and I can do this. I can come in early. I can stay late. But as long as the relationship was there, and basically if you could love them hard, you could work them hard at the same time too.
Yeah. So it was natural.
Yeah.
Did that come from having good coaches?
I think so. Starting at the house, my father was a fantastic coach, extending that over to anybody that was on the football field. And I've had blessed to have some great coaches in high school and even middle school for that matter, and then moving into college. And we had a transition of coaches at Ball State, and the new coaches came in. It was just one after another. Somebody was always a good mentor. Somebody was always a great teacher. Somebody was a good explainer of complex items and making them simple. And that was something that really, really touched me. And I was like, man, you know what? I feel like as a sales manager, now I'm in that particular role in a professional sense. So it was a real easy transition, something that wouldn't trade for the world, had its ups and downs, but loved every minute of it.
Complex items, making it simple.
Yes, sir.
That's the secret to success.
Yes,
right?
sir.
When they say keep it simple, they mean keep it simple. I love that. And look, if you're in front of a prospect, and if what I'm trying to sell is so complex that the guy's going or the lady's getting cross-eyed or the person stops listening, you have to be the best salespeople. We used to say this all the time. They keep things at a third grade level. They keep it simple. They allow there to be dialogue and space. So if I'm going to explain something, we're going to communicate back and forth. I'm not just going to go blabber. And then I'm looking at you, or I'm at least getting feedback, and the person's following me, they'll let you know.
Absolutely.
When you know they're not following you, is nobody is on the other end, dead silent. You lost them. I love that. But this transition, okay, so the corporate into now the business coach, okay, who is Lloyd now? In your coaching moment, talk to me.
At this point, I am the same organizational development manager. I'm just on my own. At this point, I have a chance to touch more organizations outside of my original industry and looking to really help out any nonprofits, looking to help out any athletic programs, any beverage companies, anybody in healthcare. So anybody that really needs some kind of professional development in terms of communication, in terms of leadership or leading effective teams, those are things I want to be able to help with. And over the course of my years and my certifications and conferences and books and everything else that's kind of made me who I am today, I'm just looking to try to give that back to people in a professional sense and try to also sneak in some things that'll help them in their personal lives at the same time too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Coaching the whole person.
That's it.
And that spectrum goes from businesses all the way down to young people.
Yes, it does.
Right. I was just talking to a gentleman
does.
at breakfast today, and I coach high school football. You know this, right?
Yep.
And I coach middle school football. And I told him, he was surprised. I said, I like coaching the young guys more. He goes, he's almost about to say why, but he thought about it. He goes, I understand why. Yeah, you understand that.
Yeah.
These young guys, you're actually teaching and coaching, and they're like a sponge. Now the little babies is different.
Yeah.
The elementary is different, but then that middle school, that's the sponge, because you can see where they're going.
Yes, it is.
Which is a good transition to the West Side Academy.
Yeah.
All right. Talk about that. It's the first time us really having this live. Like, tell me about it.
You know, West Side Football Academy has been around since May of 2013. And one of the things I wanted to do was give people an opportunity to play football in the off season. And if you go to California, you go to Texas, you go to Florida, they have year-round football programs in pads. Well, in the Midwest, we don't have that.
Right.
So one of the things I did was I read a book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Love that book.
And when it comes to Malcolm Gladwell, probably one of my favorite authors, but in there he talks about 10,000 hours to master anything. And if we don't get that 10,000 hours, at some point someone else does, they may have a better opportunity for whatever that they've done, whether it's musical, academic, athletic, etc. So I wanted to provide an opportunity for kids, for kids to work, and specifically, like you were talking about, that middle school ages, when guys are going into 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, their bodies are starting to mature, they're starting to get a little bit more quickness, the height, the weight start to look a little different. At that point, you are teaching them everything that hopefully they'll take with them the rest of their lives, or at least developing habits that they'll take the rest of their lives too. And they'll hopefully learn some lessons on the football field. But for a lot of the players that I was working with, I was also kind of that father figure if they didn't have one at the house. And next thing you know, I'd have a knock at the door, and there'd be kids looking to come and throw footballs with me and just hang out with me, because my son was way too young. But at the end of the day, it hit me where being a football coach specifically put you in a different situation that you couldn't have been in any other way in some of these kids' lives.
I love that. Well, 10,000 hours, first off. This is interesting, because if young people are listening today, you don't get to 10,000 hours by just showing up to practice. You'll never get there.
No, sir.
You have to be dribbling the ball in the driveway. You have to be working outside of practice. You have to be doing things outside of your normal practice. If you do the math on just 10 hours a week? Is it 10 hours a week? If that, for practice.
Maybe.
It may be. If you practice all 5 days, you may be only practicing an hour and a half for 3 days a week. So it's not enough time to gain the skills that you need by just showing up to practice. So I echo that 100%. And I love Malcolm Gladwell. But you talked about not just being a coach, but you're kind of working as this mentor, father figure with young people. And, signing up to be a coach, first of all, I'm paying it forward, because sign up to be a coach wasn't just showing up for practice. Sign up to be a coach for me was, who needs a ride? Who can I take home? Hey, Mom, I know you got stuff going on. I'm going to bring them home. It's on the way. And, I used to take off, man, I ain't saying this out loud, but I used to take off work. If we had a game at 5, I had to take off at 4 o'clock to pick these kids. Take off time to go pick up kids all over the city. They ain't live by the park,
Not lying.
You know exactly what I'm saying, right?
Yes, sir.
But I believe as a coach, you sign up for that.
Yes, you do.
And part of me even playing football was my mother, her best friend, her husband was a coach. So he coached his boys. I just jumped in the car with them every time they went. See how that worked?
Oh, yeah. The magic happens in the car on the way to practice, on the way home from practice. And as you start talking about school and social life, people miss a lot with their kids and miss a lot with their neighbors' kids and everyone else whenever they're not giving those rides, whenever they're not having those conversations. It's almost like having a meal together now. It's not common to see a family sitting around the same table with phones down, having an interactive engagement, an engaging conversation. So anytime that you can do it, whether it's on the field, before practice, after practice, in the car, on the table at the house, get it in. It makes a difference.
You said some profound things, and this is when my sales teams. You get to a certain point with a sales team where you get to that moment of momentum, where everything's clicking. You almost can't miss. They can raise the goal, we still hit it. And part of that is that I took on not just the role as like a leader, like the sales manager, but I took on the role as part of the group, as the big brother mentor, part of the group, right? Sometimes you can be a leader and be detached.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Be a leader and be detached.
Oh, yeah.
If you're the leader and you're at the table, that's different, right? And then you said something. It's like we are having that moment where phones are our side. Now this is now grown folks still play on their phones, but they on Facebook. You know, put your phones down. You know, we have those meetings where don't pick up your phone in a meeting, but you can have that round table with your team, your sales team, development team. That creates culture. And I know these things show up in our business because they showed up in sports.
Yes.
So I recognize them.
Yeah.
And then you go, there it is. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know, just to add to that point a little bit, what sounded like you were describing was somebody who was a solid manager, but maybe not a good leader. And when it comes to being a manager and being a leader, obviously for the people that study it, you know the two are different. And one of the things that we instilled in our corporate culture, and I got to thank a gentleman by the name of John Zenas. Shout out to John, fantastic human being, great personal mentor as well. He introduced something we call the 6 critical questions. And the 6 critical questions came from a book called First Break All the Rules by Marcus Buckingham back in the day.
Absolutely.
Well, we modified them a little bit when it came to our corporate culture, and we lived by them when we trained our leaders and our managers. So we also put them on some cards so we didn't forget them. But at the end of the day, these are the same questions that I like to use whenever I'm coaching football and coaching athletes.
Love that.
And the first one is just, you know, do I know what's expected of me? And we need to make sure that people have the clear-cut expectations in a simplified level for what's being asked of them. After that, have I been given the knowledge, tools, and resources I need for my job? And what we need to do is to pour into athletes or pour into employees and make sure that we're giving them the things that they may not even know they need.
Right.
And they may not even know to ask for those things. Next, are we giving people a chance to do what they do best and giving people a chance to shine and kind of work off their strengths instead of constantly getting on their weaknesses and trying to divvy those up and improve those skills? Afterwards, in the last 7 days, has somebody received recognition? So what we want to do is to make sure that we're giving somebody that pat on the back, that handshake, that thank you, where they know they're appreciated. That's almost like saying I love you to your spouse.
Absolutely.
And if you're not, they're going to start looking at you sideways. So at the end of the day, your employees and your players will be the exact same way if they don't feel that you love them. Then after that, you know, the last 2 questions are pretty similar, but does my coach or does my manager care about me as a person? And do they care about me professionally in my development? So do they care about me outside the field? Do they care about me outside of work? But then also, are they caring about my personal life? And what about my next steps in terms of career development or athletic development?
Yeah, because a lot of times we see it from the perspective of it's just about them.
Yeah.
You see our managers, it's about what they need, what they want.
Yeah.
And you're just an instrument.
Yes.
And then we people.
Yeah. And that's a transactional relationship when you got that going.
Wow.
But as soon as you start taking it to another level, now it's like, okay, I see you as more than that. The relationships transforms, and you'll be able to get the most out of anybody, whether it's an employee or an athlete.
Yeah, and that's the key to a great manager is you're not going to always have the best talent, but can you get the most out of what you have?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Because everybody can be successful. You just got to learn and find out how to get it out of them.
That's right. That's right.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So here's the segment. It's my favorite segment. Okay. Everybody that comes onto the show has to give a take, right? And this is the key to the show. We give a take, so we pay it forward. We acknowledge by name, okay, a coach or mentor that has shaped us, okay? And we talk about what we use today or what we glean from that relationship today.
Yeah.
Give me your take.
I got to tell you, first off, don't be mad. I've had a lot of great coaches in my lifetime, blessed all the way from, you know, the youngest levels all the way up till now. And I think I've taken something small away from most. But I think that the coach that I've learned the most from was Joe Patrica down in Palatine, Illinois. Joe Patrica was known for making great teams and getting suburban Chicago teams to compete with city teams and do well.
Yep.
And he was great to instill toughness. He was great for us to understand how to plan, how to prepare, taught me how to break down game film. Matter of fact, I still watch every play about 13 times.
Yep.
First time just to see what the play is doing.
Yep.
And every time after that, I'm watching every single player and I'm running it through the Casker model. Casker I got from University of Wisconsin and Brett Bielema at the time. But it's what's the call, what's the alignment, in addition to the stance I need, my key and my responsibility.
Casker.
So when it comes to explaining and questioning athletes, we always use that process. But that's the other thing that he was really good about is instilling processes. And I'm sure that everybody's heard Nick Saban talking about trust the process, but you got to establish what those are, and then you can start to promote it with the rest of your team. So Joe Patrica, you're my guy. Appreciate everything you did for me and making me the man today.
Establish the process.
Yes.
Expectations for everybody.
Yes.
Once it's instilled, trust it.
There it is.
My man.
There
My
it
man.
is.
So if you drop some heat, outliers.
Yep.
First break all the rules.
Yep.
The Casker model.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on now. If anybody's listening to this, if you didn't take some nuggets away today, you missed out.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. And if there's any questions about personal development for you individually, anybody that's looking to come up with just a structure for maybe books to read or programs to follow, look us up. And you can look me up on LinkedIn. Again, Lloyd Brown for Lloyd Brown Learning and Development, LLC. But we can help you out in terms of individual development, team development, and to get you guys coaching just like coaches do on the football field in your boardrooms.
Love that. Love that. With that, we're going to drop the mic. Man, I appreciate you coming here, spending some time with me. It went by fast. You know, we could do this all day long.
You know we can.
Yes, sir.
You know we can.
I appreciate you, man. That's us signing off with Coach's Take.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you much.